Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Board Game Heaven Talks Accessories. And this time I'm going to talk about Dungeon Master role-playing game accessories by Inked Adventures, designed by Will M, aka Billiam Babble, who's made a lot of hand-drawn black and white and even color dungeon accessories such as these geomorphic tiles, dice trays, there's cards, playing cards with dungeon designs on them, and dungeon cut-up packs, and also Modular Dungeons. He's got a lot of stuff on Drive-Thru RPG that you can download and use digitally, and then you can just print them as many times as you like and cut them up and design your own dungeons. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these products. So the first thing I wanted to show you are these Geomorph Tiles. And this is something you can download from Drive-Thru RPG. Check the link below. And these are all big, well, they're digital tiles, and they all have two entrances or exits on every side. They're square, and as you can see, there are all kinds of passages, rooms. There's these big hallways, some damaged floors and dead ends. Here is a maze-like corridor. These kind of tiles that kind of connect others but form a dead end. A couple of crossing tiles. This just goes that way, so it kind of divides your map and some rooms. Another one of those with some prison cells. Here is a big collapsed hallway. There's also some caverns, so you can pass from the dungeon on one side into more natural looking cavern on the other side. Here's another one of those, and they're all in black and white. They're all hand drawn, and you could actually just color them in yourself. And there's some starting and an ending tile, so this is like an ending tile where you just stop your dungeon. And here's another cavern, and this here, it's red, the digital files. I print them black and white, but that indicates an entrance. So basically this is outside, and you enter here, but still you could build a dungeon all around it. And here's another cave that starts here from that dungeon section as well. Here's a bit of both, and another cave with some stairs in it. And if there's a dead end somewhere, he just draws these kind of endings, so it always matches, and that's pretty cool. So you have those, and I've put some of those on the table already. Now the PDF that you're getting is made for printing on A4 or letter format, and it kind of splits all the tiles in two, so that you have to glue them together. So they're basically divided over here, and one of them has a bit of paper that you can put glue on and then cut them out, and put the other half on that lid and just stick them together. But I just used the also included a JPEG version of all the tiles, which are just the images, and I printed those on A3, so that also works. And as you can see, I just put down a couple of miniatures. They were all in 1 inch if you print them correctly, of course. But you can scale them, you can blow them up a bit more or even shrink them. But these are just your standard miniatures, and they all fit nicely onto these bases. And you can build these however you want, see, because this is like an entrance. And then over here we have a big tile again, and then you can just connect them however you want. And you could also even connect them like this, so that works as well. So that looks really cool. I really like that. And these were originally designed to be small cards. They're also available as small cards, like coasters, about 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch. And the demand for these was big enough that people wanted to have these, full size, so they could actually play with miniatures on them, like I did here. So he simply just blew up the images and made them available as a PDF download. Now you will notice, of course, that the amount of detail is a bit more rough in these bigger versions because they were originally designed as smaller, but still this looks really good on your table, and you can build these dungeons. You know, they're gigantically, there's 64 unique designs, and there's also 64 mirrored versions in that PDF pack. So you could print whatever ones you would need and just build a big dungeon and have fun with that. And you could color them in, you could even add stuff yourself with pen and you know, you could use like crayons or a felt pen, pencils, whatever, and just have fun with that. Especially if you have kids, this could be a lot of fun to do, you know, play some more simpler RPGs perhaps with these as well. So anything is possible. It's basically just, you've got these tiles and you can use your imagination like any good dungeon master should and go wild with these. So that's the Geomorph Dungeon Tiles by Inked Adventures. I really love these. They look fantastic. I would certainly check these out on Drive-Thru RPG. Other things that you can find on Drive-Thru RPG by Inked Adventures are modular dungeon cut-up sets, and there's all kinds of stuff there. There's the modular dungeon, like I said. There's also square dungeon tiles that you just cut out and you can combine them, much like the Geomorph tiles. There's sets with rooms, you know, drawn with flagstones. There's curved sections, there's doors, there's portals, all kinds of furniture, even 3D furniture that you fold. There's a lot of special encounters like lairs and chambers. There's forest encounters. There's forest cut-up sheets. There's crypts, tombs, catacombs, 3D blocks even that you can cut up and then, you know, fold and glue together into 3D wall sections and doors. So that's pretty cool as well. There's interior. There are desert cut-up sheets. There are sets with circular rooms and tower levels. There's even a set with some monsters that has cultists and skeletons, spiders and zombies. So you could use those as well. There's caverns. And there's a whole lot of free stuff as well, such as a couple of these that I took here. And for example, you have these doors, and you can color them in like I did here, and then you just cut them out, which I will show you in a bit, and then you fold them together, and then, you know, you've got your stone doors here, your wooden double doors, single doors, and there's these kind of sheets that have stairs on them and pits and trap doors here and chests and crates and these rubble and stones for making blocked ways that you can also use with your other tiles or the Geomorph tiles. And you can color them in again if you're feeling creative, or if you have kids and you like to do some craft with them. And you can add stuff, you know, maybe somebody dragged a dead body down the stairs over here. And yeah, you just cut them up. You use a mat, like I always do, and then use a sharp knife and a ruler, and then just cut out but you could also just use scissors, of course, if you cut carefully. And then you can put them all on your table and just have a blast with your Inked Adventure 3D dungeon. I'll show you some of these put together. So as you can see, I cut out a couple of these, I colored them. So just for comparison, here you have a single door, just uncolored, one with pencil and one with felt pens, and it looks nice either way, you know. And if you take a couple of these Geomorph tiles, for example, you know, you can put a door there, and maybe put a door here, maybe put a door over there as well, or use the, you know, the colored indoors and use them for your standees as well. And you can use your rubble to indicate that this is not a passage, something collapsed there. And maybe over here there's another blocked wall, and maybe your party discovered this pit trap over here, and there's more rubble over there. So you can do all these things and just create your dungeon on the go. Here's a stone door. Maybe there's a double door somewhere. Well, these are all made with exits of 1 inch wide, but you can use these, of course, in your other dungeon tiles. See, and you've got your furniture here. Maybe there's a treasure or a box over there. There's a treasure over here, and maybe there's another treasure over there, because that's the room where the evil warlock resides. Let's say there's the evil warlock, and your party of adventurers is over here looting this place, and they have to pass through. Can't go there because that was where the pit trap was, and now they have to open these doors. You know, you can just go on with that, and I just love that. I remember doing that when I was in school, and you had these math binders with pages of 5 by 5 grids that you used for mathematics, of course, but you draw all these dungeons on them and think of these adventures. So this stuff is perfect for that. Check it out on Drive-Thru RPG. The next thing I wanted to show you is this pack of map and dice playing cards. So they're illustrated dungeon geomorphs, the ones we've seen actually, and there's a D20, D6 and D100 die results. So that's pretty cool. There's 54 cards in here with 4 suits and 2 jokers, and they can of course be used as regular playing cards, but the fun of this deck is there's a plastic around here. Let's take that off. So you've got this is the first card and has a bit of an explanation on the back. So it's got a title for each area, and there's the geomorph maps. Let me see, here's a joker, here's another joker. So one has bad luck and one is good luck. So let's turn these around. So for example, see, here's the Ace of Spades, which is the Grim Gate, and this is one of those geomorph tiles, and you can actually put these on the table as well and build your dungeon with that when you're planning your dungeon, or if you're playing with you know, little wooden tokens or whatever for your adventurers. You could play it at miniature scale. So it tells you how you simulate your dice. See, you've got a D20, a D6 and a D100, and it says, well, this is a 71 and a 72. So how that works is you just shuffle your deck and you draw a card and you see the result. So that is pretty cool as well. So it's all explained on this card, but that's pretty straightforward. So let's just quickly check all these. So, and here is what the Joker does. Let me just quickly show you that as well. So you have the dice roll of good luck, draw 2 cards, discard the least favorite result, and the bad luck is draw 2 cards and discard the most favorable result. And there's even a map special card A and B, which is the Game Master's choice, and some suggestions even on it. So that's pretty cool. You can use these in many different ways. Here's the Tomb of the Last King. Here is the Storage and Unfinished Quarters, and a Fool's Way with just a U shape, the Blind Fish Cavern, Crypt and Dead End, and all of these you will find on that Geomorph tile set. See, we've seen a couple of these. So that's pretty cool, and well, I'll show you how you can actually build. These are all ending tiles, so you know, you can just put them on the table like that. I'll see. So the spades are all entrances and ending tiles, it seems. This is also an entrance. Here's a big grand entrance, a forgotten stairwell. So you can just put them there and just continue, and you can even rotate them. If I wanted to go to the other way around, you just put them underneath like that, and you start building your dungeon like that. So that's also a lot of fun. So we've got hearts here, which looks like they're all corridors. See, here's a ziggurat temple, an arena pit, all kinds of interesting designs, guard rooms, Then there's the clover clubs. That's what the correct term is. Here is a sewer, and there's a Tears Torrent, which is an underwater river. Well, there's all kinds of these. So this is more subterranean and cavernous, I think. Well, even though there's just corridors here as well. Here's another cavern. Yeah, and then there's diamonds with bigger rooms, it seems. Yeah, they're, well, I don't know. There's a shortcut here. Don't know if there is any logic to that, but that's pretty cool. So you've got all of those, and of course, like I said, you can use them as regular playing cards because they have all the suits and the numbers in the corner, and you can just ignore whatever's on the card. So this is pretty cool. It's a card set with multiple purposes, which you can use for dice rolls, for map building, and for regular playing cards. So that's that set. Let's look at another one of those sets. So another one of these nice little pocket packets is the Inked Adventures Dungeon Cut-Ups. So these aren't playing cards, but you can still, these are basically cards that you can play with. So they come in the same kind of box, the Inked Adventures Dungeon Cut-Ups. And these are cardboard little, well, squares. The other, I should mention, the playing cards had really good, you know, the standard quality card stock, like, you know, like poker cards. This is thicker. This is really a cardboard kind of thick card stock. And as you can see, here again we have all kinds of these little, what should be 1 inch, you know, in comparison, only on a smaller scale. One square items like a well, a statue, a pit. Here is a hole in the ground. It's 2 by 2. There's a couple of coffins here, rubble and rocks blocking the way. A fountain. You get 2 of those. And there's all this furniture here. You've got a big table with benches and some chairs and a table, crates, barrels, these treasure chests, a couple of dead adventurers over here, some treasure piles, a book, well, all kinds of stuff, sleeping bags, bookcases, you name it, a throne. And the idea behind this, here are some doors, is that also you cut these out and you have these tiny pocket-sized dungeon items, furniture and stuff, and like trap doors and all kinds of things. There's plenty of those because you're going to need a lot of doors, presumably. There's double doors here as well, so you get all that. Here's some stairs, and they're just long stairs that you can basically cut off depending on how long you need them to be. Here's a couple of stairs going a level down. These spiral stairs as well, you get 2 of those in this set. And then there's the floor. So here we have some wooden tiles, basically wooden floors. And you can use them as they are, just by placing them on the table and building your dungeon and putting the furniture in it and the doors between. But you can of course also just cut them up into smaller sections or corridors, however big you want them to be, because there's plenty of them, as you can see. And the same goes for these flagstone gray tiles that you can use as a room, or combine them to make a really big room, or cut them up and make smaller rooms or corridors or corners, whatever. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 of those in here. So that's a whole lot of dungeon building that you can do with just this small pocket-sized pack of cards. So there you go. And then there's 3 sheets. Oh, here's another one of those. 3 sheets of monsters. So they're just silhouettes of faces. These goblin or orc-like creatures, a dragon it seems. And here are your adventurer icons that you will recognize. Here's a shield and a sword and a bow and arrow, a hammer, a wizard's hat, another bow and arrow. So, you know, the rogue's cloak, a dagger. So you can use these as heroes or NPCs or whatever. And basically what this does is give you the opportunity to just, you know, put this in your pocket, or if you're traveling, just put it in your bag and it will be small enough to take with you, and you can, you know, mess around with this. And even, you know, if you have small maybe meeples or wooden tokens or whatever, or even these, just, you know, and just play a dungeon crawling game that you just make up on the fly, or, you know, you're sitting in traveling on the plane or on a train or whatever, and you need something to do, you just grab this and start designing your dungeon for your next Dungeons and Dragons or whatever RPG you're playing game night. So that is very handy. There's a little content card in the back as well that tells you what you get. All right, so that's the dungeon cut-ups in the small pocket sized. You can also find this on Etsy. Check the link below. And finally, the last thing I wanted to show you are these dice trays, which you probably have seen before. This is the kind of material that you can use for dice trays, or it's basically a mouse mat. The kind of material that they use for mouse mats. It's made by All Rolled Up. You can find this online as well, also on Etsy. And well, they snap together with these snapping buttons over here in the corners, like so. Oh, press them well. And they can be, you know, stored easily. They're thin enough, but very sturdy. They're a bit stretchy, so they won't rip. And you can roll them up or just chuck them in a game box or whatever. And well, there's this smaller dice tray and a bigger square one, which, as you can see, has the Geomorph tiles on it as well. A whole big dungeon already here in place. And this one has flagstone designs colored in. There are more. There's one with tentacles in black and white, and tentacles in color, and this one is also available with green instead of beige over here, brown. And well, they're dice trays, so let's roll a couple of dice. Let's check it out, see? And that's how that works. You just throw them in your dice tray, of course, and I'm throwing them too hard. But that's cool. You can also use these for storing tokens or whatever. So I love these. I think that is great. I really love the designs. There's several to be found online, so I'll put those in the description as well. So that's pretty cool. I really love these. So that's the All Rolled Up Inked Adventures dice trays available online. So some products from the Inked Adventures line. Something else I still wanted to mention is that there are some plans for future releases of new items. There's talk of neoprene fabric and dry erase dungeon sections, like the cutout sections that you'll find on Drive-Thru RPG in neoprene fabric. So you can actually draw on those with a dry erase marker and you know, draw encounters or edit the maps and just dry erase them and wipe them off after playing. So that's also something very exciting that's possibly coming. And I've also talked to Billiam Babble a bit about the Geomorph tiles and asked them if there was a possibility to release these, you know, colored in. And momentarily there's no plan to do this because they're releasing all kinds of new stuff in the future. But he didn't say it would not be possible. So, you know, fingers crossed for that, because that would be awesome if they were, you know, fully colored in, or at least, you know, some details of it, because I really love them the way they are, but that would be very incredible and amazing. So, Inked Adventures, check them out online. And so those were some of the products by Inked Adventures. I'll put some links in the description below so you can easily find them and check them out. I'd like to thank Will M for providing me with these samples for reviewing. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.